Today in class we used the Extreme Collaboration add-on for the Smart Notebook software. You're going to have to go to Smart Exchange to find this Extreme Collaboration add-on. But once you've added this, it's the puzzle piece that will allow you to locate it. If you click on that, you can find out that you are able to start a session. There is a little bit of registration and verification that takes place prior to this appearing like this, but it's a pretty straightforward process. What we did is we clicked session, and I actually had my students enter their names today. You could do it anonymously if you didn't want students to have their names tied to their answers in case that they might have some issues if they get the wrong answer and it's displayed on the board. If you do anonymous, then you don't know who got the wrong answer. But with the example today that we did, we actually had the students enter their names so that I could see and help students if they made mistakes on the problems. So what we do after we've chosen to enter our names, we click start. From here, we left it as a random position. For today, you can choose to list it, stack it, but we just left it as a random position. We also went ahead and chose to add the sender's name when they sent it, and then we also chose 10 messages per user. That way we could go ahead and continue to use this on multiple pages within the lesson today. So then after we were done, we clicked start activity. From this point, the problem is that you need the students to be able to connect to the activity. So to do that, click this little drop down arrow, click the checkbox to allow students to join, and actually, let me see here, insert some blank pages. Let's insert the QR code. And of course, it's going to go right over what I didn't want it to, which is all right. We'll just get this stuff onto a new page and get started with the example that we did today. So basically, the reason that we did this was it allowed students then to kind of show what they were thinking as we went through the lesson. But to get started, the students had to scan the code, and I'm going to be showing you this on both the LearnPad and the iPad so you can get an idea of what it looks like on both devices. Let's start with the iPad here. With this, I'm using the app Crafter. Click on it. We'll scan this code here. Now you are redirected to a location that allows you to enter your name. So we'll go ahead and put student 1 in here and click connect. So you can see once connected, you're able to have a message box and it shows you how many messages you have left to send. So now when we talk about the LearnPad, go ahead and do the same thing here. Go into our QR code reader, and you can see it's left from today. Here we go. There is the scan for this lesson. So again, pretty much identical to what the iPad looks like. You got to enter your name. So we'll enter, if I knew how to type, we'll do student 2 and connect. So you can see, let me bring the iPad back up for us so that we can see on both of these devices that they pretty much look identical as far as scanning the QR code, and you get a message box and it tells you how many options you have left for sending your answer. Now, how we incorporated this into today's digital clocks, I had students figure out what the time was that was shown on the digital clock, and they were able to report it in real time to me. So for example, on the LearnPad, the student, let's say that this student thought, I think this is, let's see here, a student, let's do, so that student sent the answer. You can see student 2 sent the answer of 5-3. And then on the iPad, let's say that this student sent the answer 5-15. Now, you can see that both of these answers show up in real time on the screen. This really kept the students engaged. In addition, it allowed for a lot of teachable moments and for me to do kind of an informal assessment on which students were understanding and which students were not. For example, I had some students that might have answered like this where it was 5-3, and we were able to talk about how the hour hand was pointing at the 5 and the minute hand was pointing at the 3, but the minute hand talks about different numbers other than 3. It actually stands for 15 minutes like student 1 answered. So again, we could continue to go through to the next problem where the clock was showing a time. The digital time was covered up and they had to enter the digital time again. So again, they could repeat the same process where they were able to input their answer. When done, they got to click send. Same thing on the iPad, they were able to enter their information and send that. And you can see, there we go, it came in real time again. So again, that was the Extreme Collaboration add-on, and it really made quite the difference in how the lesson went for today, as far as allowing me to kind of embrace those teachable moments to help those students that didn't understand, as well as it really increased the engagement by the students. They were really staying on task and really paying attention so that they could answer the questions when appropriately. So that was just how we used Extreme Collaboration today with the LearnPad, but I wanted to make sure to show you what the iPad looked like as I'm comparing both of these devices for this pilot project. But you can see pretty much very similar and very functional within the classroom to kind of integrate technology with your lesson.